Hey everybody. So the topic of this video kind of got me tickled, you know. Having conversations with some of the younger guys in the gym. And I mean, they're good dudes, but whew, they're beginners. You know what I mean? And they want to make sure they're doing the right thing, but they're worried about so much of the wrong thing. And it's like talking to brick walls. Let me explain. All right. Creatine. How much creatine do I need to take? How much creatine do you take? I don't take any creatine. What? How are you going to get that big if you ain't got no creatine? Blah, blah, blah. And how much whey protein do you drink? Well, I probably drink 3 or 4 shakes a week, maybe. You know, put some in my cereal or whatever, like that video I made. Really? How do you get that big? I said, I eat. And they're like, well, we eat. I'm like, no, you don't. Tell me what you had for breakfast. I mean, these are real conversations. I'm not going to say the kid's name, but he's like, what'd you have for breakfast today? I had a Pop-Tart and an apple. Boop. I said, that's it, huh? He's like, yeah. I said, what'd you have for lunch? He had some nachos, and a protein bar and a Coke. You gonna give it hell in here, are you? You really gonna get under the bar and slay it, are you, son? You know? Why don't you take you 2 or 3 extra scoops of creatine? That'll take care of that deficit right there. And, you know, I'm real big on asking the right questions. So I told him, I said, dude, you're trying to do the right thing. I said, but you're not asking the right questions, and you're certainly not eating enough. He's like, well, all right, what's up? I said, well, this is it. Look, you're 5'10", you're 150 pounds, okay? You're in the gym, and you're working out. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing, but you're short-circuiting everything. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, you've already told me what you eat. You're probably not even eating 2,000 calories a day, man. And he's like, well, yeah, I don't want to get fat. I'm like, how are you going to put on muscle? Are you just going to make muscle out of nothing? What you're doing now is you're eating enough calories to sustain life and to get you walking around town and driving up and down the road and breathing and all your bodily functions and la 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 la. That's about all you're really giving your body, all right? And enough to come in here and throw the ball around a little bit. But you're not making any gains, are you? He goes, well, no. He said, I thought I was there for a minute. He said, and then it just quit. And I said, well, you know what happened? I said, basically all you did was get the muscles that you already had in your body, what little muscles you got, and you just conditioned them. You just made them more efficient at lifting weight. And you can do that for a little while. I mean, a few weeks, and that's going to be gone. You know, that's part of newbie gains. You know what I mean? You're just conditioning the muscles that you already have. But in order to build muscle, you got to have calories. You got to have calories to make energy. You've got to have protein. All right? That way you've got protein for that energy to do its processing, to do its thing, you know, to turn the proteins into muscles. It takes energy to do that. It takes calories for energy. All right? I kind of got tongue-tied there for a minute. I'm still tickled at the whole thing. Like these young guys, that's not just him. And I'm not going to mention his name. But they just think these muscles are going to manifest themselves out of the blue. And I said, guys, none of y'all eat. There might be one heavy-set kid in there, you know, and he's, you know, not surprisingly stronger than the rest of them. Because he's got a lot more base to work with. You know, he doesn't have to eat in order to gain a lot of strength because he's got a lot of reserve to even work through. So heavier people have got an advantage if they're not too lazy to get under the bar. But that's a rabbit I'm not going to chase right now. That's not the subject. I said, dude, don't worry about how much creatine you're eating. Don't worry about, you know, how much pump juice or your pre-workout or your whey protein or whatever. Don't worry about all that stuff. I said, that is not going to replace a healthy diet. Greens, potatoes, chicken, beef. Let's walk around. Buttermilk, heavy cream, rice, tuna, beans. This has just come out of my cabinet. Bran muffins, bacon, you know, toppings for your oatmeal and your cereals, salmon, good old-fashioned bowl of collard greens, eggs, of course. If you hunt, then you know what a great source of meat deer are, you know. Bullets are cheap, or relatively cheap. You get a lot of meat, all right? If that's not your thing, that's not your thing, but it is an option. Eat beans. You've got to cook, too. Don't be afraid to cook. Guys, gals, I don't think nobody cooks nowadays. Hardly, at least the younger generation. Don't be afraid to learn how to cook. All right? Don't go out eating all the time, because even if you go out and eat pretty good food, it's still not near as good and clean as the things that you can prepare at your house. Well, I don't have time. I don't have time. You got time to play Call of Duty all day long, don't you? You got time to go out and do this, and you got time to do that. What makes you think that you got time to go to the gym and spend all this effort working hard and not making any progress, but you don't have time to eat enough calories? Okay? And I got news for you. Even if you don't want to get fat, you're still going to have to eat at a caloric surplus. You're still going to have to, because you're going to have to make that muscle out of something. That's just the way that it is. You can't... I'm not trying to be ugly. And yeah, I was being a little sarcastic earlier, but it was just funny. You can't build muscle on Pop-Tarts and apples. You just can't do it. Okay? And the sooner you accept that and understand that you're probably going to have to eat to the point that you're uncomfortable. Okay? It's like, you know how they say, well, just eat until you're almost full? Or, you know, maybe cut back a little bit. That's great if you're trying to lose weight or if you're trying to just maintain. But if you're lifting weights and you're trying to put on muscle, you're going to have to probably eat, unless you're already overweight. Now, unless you're already overweight and you've got a lot of surplus to lose, you might not want to do this advice that I'm giving right now. You probably do want to cut back a little bit. You'll still be fine, because you've got enough body fat to make up for that lack of calories. But trust me, I know from experience. Absolutely know that for a fact. But if you're already lean, you're a skinny kid, you're genetically hurting, you're going to have to eat, son. It's just the way that it is. Anyway, I hope this helps. You have to sit and make friends with is all I can tell you. Y'all have a good day.